Well, hi, welcome to the Clubsport channel, and as you can see, car's up in the air. And before you say anything, no, I am not supporting the car just on the trolley jack. That would be insane. No, I have it supported on these axle stands on both sides. The jack is just there as belt and braces. Okay, so we're doing the anti-roll bar bushes. I'm a little bit way in, so I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So firstly, on the wheels, obviously if you see in the last video I did, this one I greased up the wheel and everything, so when I undid the bolts on that wheel it just fell off. This one I had to hammer it off the same as the other one, so I'm going to be cleaning this up with a metal brush in there and also on the hub here, and then all in here before it goes back on, and greasing it up like I did with the other one. Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering, my brakes are Mintex M1230 FE. Quite difficult to find, but I've had this car now for 2.5 years, and look at the meat on those pads. I'm sure that's how much meat I had on them when I got the car. They last forever, these things. Alright, so anyway, the way I got the car up in the air, because my jack, I could get the car underneath onto the subframe point. The problem was I had no leverage on the handle. So what I did was I jacked up this side of the car, and then I let it down with the wheel sitting on that wood. I did the same on the other side. That meant the car was elevated in the air enough to get the jack under and give me a little bit of leverage on the handle. So I was able to jack the car up to a point where I was able to get the axle stands under. I lowered the car on the axle stands, and then I just took up the tension on the jack, so it ain't going nowhere. Right, so I've started on this side. I took the wheels off because, if I can show you in here, on the bottom of the drop link here, I've undone this bolt. I've not taken it off, I've just made it loose, so you can see there it's loose in there now, and that just gives the ARB, the anti-roll bar, a little bit of flexibility. I've also undone the underneath thing. It's not off, but it's basically undone, so I'm just gonna get under. Let me just get my little head torch so that you can see. I'm gonna leave the camera running. I just pop round the back, and I'm going to put my little head torch on so that we have a bit better light. Right, now bear in mind, I'm no mechanic, guys. You know, I am what you could describe as somewhere between an amateur mechanic and a tinkerer. That's where I am. I'm just going to put the phone on the car while I put my light on. Alright, we are good to go. So I'm going to show you underneath. I have a 13mm on an extension bar, and I have got these two bolts almost off. Now apparently the reason you unscrew the drop links is so that it's easier to put this roll bar back in place. So the way I'm going to do this, if it works, if I can, oh, that is kind of wet. That's water though. So what I'm going to do this is I'm going to take this off completely, and the rubber, and I'm going to put the new rubber on, give this a bit of a clean, and then as I put this back on, I'm not going to tighten it. I'm going to put it up so it's nearly tight, but that the roll bar still has movement, okay? And that's just so it doesn't fall. And then I'm going to go and do that side, alright, because there's still going to be movement over there, so I'm going to do that side. And then I'm going to put that one back on, and I'm going to tighten it, and then I'm going to come back and tighten this, and then I'm going to tighten up the drop link. That's going to be pretty much it, really. And this is where I have the jack on this subframe point here. It's just belt and braces. You know, the axle stands are going to hold this car really well, and I've even got a chock on the rear wheel to keep it in place. So I'm as safe as I can be. So let's continue. I think this is hand loose now. Hold on, I have to move the camera off target. Okay. Oh, and these are damn good jacks, by the way, guys. Just in case you're interested. It's a Yankee. Actually, I'm sure it's Sealy. Yeah, there you go, Sealy. It's the Sealy Yankee 2-ton jack. It's got twin. I don't know what you call them. Springs, valves. Yeah, it's double pneumatic, and it's really good. Really good jack. I'm really happy with it. So let's get the old nuts off, as the vet said to the dog. And I know you can't see, but you kind of know where I'm going with this. And I have to keep switching hands because my shoulders are knackered. All right, so this should come off now. There we go. All right, I'm gonna give this a little bit of a little clean. I mean, I don't need to, but you know, why not? Now this, as you can see, there's a split there. That's normal. Don't worry. So it's just a case now of pulling the ARB down. I'm trying to do this. Hold on. Need to put the phone down. Okay. Right, so I've just turned it upside down, and now that will just come off. Yay! Now you can see that mine, you can see there it says 23.5. I'm hoping the ones I've got are 23.5. Let me just focus that for you. There we go. It's 23.5, which is 23.5 millimeter diameter on the anti-roll bar. This is made by BMW. So I think, guys, that these are the original ones. They've lasted 150,000 miles and they're still good. I mean, I did get an advisory on my MOT because of them, just because there's a little bit of play, but you can see they're not bad. They're really not bad. This isn't a job that needed doing today, but I wanted it doing. So let's go and get the pair of new ones. So there's one there, and I got one. Please tell me I have another one. There it is. Freak out. Okay, so these are Melee HD. Does it mention 23.5? It is for this car. I was told it is for this car. Please say 23.5. It looks like it is. Well, it better be. Alright, I'm going to get this packet open and we'll get this one back on. I'm opening it with one hand, guys. It's got a part number on there. Okay, just for quickness. Dear Melee, I would like to first say thank you for making good quality products. But I would also like to mention that your rubber bushings stink. Ugh. Anyway, they really do. Okay, it doesn't mention anywhere that these are 23.5, but I'm assuming that they are. The part number for my 330 is 314615 0008, I think that is. I think it should say it on here. Oh, 0003. There you go. And for the other one, it should be exactly the same. It is indeed. So this is what I'm using, guys. I wouldn't use any other brand except for maybe Phoebe Bilstein. I would use that. But Melee is my preferred option. So obviously this is something I can't do with two hands. So what I'm just going to reverse the process. I'm just going to open this up, put it over the ARB, turn it round, and then put the metal cover back on, the clean metal cover. So I'll be back when I've done that. Okay, so I've cleaned this up. I did the inside as well, because inside here there was a lot of rubber still stuck to the thing. It might, well, yeah, it must have been from the old one, and there's nothing missing off the old one, but it was just bits here. So I used a wire brush, and these scorings are just from a Stanley blade, which I used. You can see here there's still bits coming off, just a bit of rubber, and I took it off just so that the new one would seat on there a bit better. So that's going to go on like this. Obviously, hopefully it's going to sit better than that and not look like a milkmaid. Yeah, so let's get this rubber on, and hopefully it fits, it's the right size, and we'll get it all bolted up. Alrighty, so the other one, the one I just did, I haven't tightened the bolts, but I put the bolts on so they're just starting on the thread, just to keep that side loose. And then on this side I took the nuts off, give them a little bit of WD-40 because they were a bit greased up. But yeah, the rubber came out really easily, and as you can see, this one's got rubber caked all over it as well. So again, it's going to get the wire brush treatment, and also on here, just so it seats better. And then I find that I have to grease this outside plate. I've got to grease this outside plate here, and that just helps it when you put it back on the car, so that it slides onto the rubber, because otherwise the metal's so rough that it will start hitting this and it'll start roughening this up. So to help slide that back on there, I'm just using grease and then the ball of my hand just to push it on, and it goes on a lot easier. Now the other side that's on, there's a little gap like this. Like this is how the old one is, but the new one's sitting like about there. Now I'm guessing that's obviously because it's brand new, it's starting a new hole, as it were, and I'm thinking that as I drive, that's going to bed in and seat in, and it will close up. But everything will be tightened. I haven't tightened it down fully yet, so maybe it will close when I do that. So let's get this cleaned up, grease the inside. I didn't want to put grease on it really, I didn't want to get any slip, but I have to put a little bit on just to get this over here. Yeah, I hope that's not gonna be a detrimental thing to do, but I need to get it on that rubber, and grease is the word. Maybe some liquid grease will be better. I don't know, but yeah, just to get that on there nicer, because as you push this down, right, these push on these sides, and that opens this up at the top. That's what's happening. So to slide that down here, you really only need to grease these sides here, not the top. So just to grease down there, and then just have it so that it goes on easier, and it doesn't really open up the top too much. So I just got my grease there. I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't think it's going to harm anything really. I'm putting very little on, but just enough to create like a lining. Right, so yeah, I need to clean this up. So I'm going to clean this up, and I will be back. Alrighty, so this one is on. This one went on nice and easy, the driver's side. I think the phone's having trouble focusing as usual, but anyway, yeah, this one went on okay. Nothing's tightened up yet. I'm going to tighten up these bolts, then I'm going to go back over to the other side, tighten those up, and then have fun tightening the drop link bolt up. I just have a feeling that's going to be a little bit tricky, because it's yeah, I might have to take the bolt off or WD-40 it or something. Anyway, but yeah, so that's going to be fun getting that on. And then I'm going to put the splitters back on while I'm under the car, because it's the best time to do it. Put those on, and I might give the underneath of the car a little bit of a clean up, so that the next time I get under here, if there's anything new, any new leaks or anything that's not water. I don't know if the water's coming from the aircon or it's coming from the headlight thing, but it is just water. It's not coolant, it's not power steering fluid, it's nothing like that. I just have water drips. When I start the car in the morning and I back it out the garage, I can see drip, 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 drip all the way back. Yeah, I don't know. It is just water. Now, as you can see, this is on there. You can see the gap is not closed. That's the same on both sides. I have shuffled this around a little bit, but I'm guessing that when you drive, that's going to start closing up, and it may even do so once I tighten these nuts up. We'll have to see. But I'm not really letting it bother me at the moment. I only undid the one drop link bolt on the other side. I did the other side because the driver's side has the auto headlight leveler, so I thought rather than take that off, or at least undo this bolt under the wishbone and then move the arm out the way, it was just going to be easier to do the other side. So I undid that just so that this was loose. I didn't take the bolt off, I just did it so that this was loose, and it just gave the ARB a little bit of flexibility of movement so that I would find it easier to get these back on, and that seemed to work very nicely. So that's pretty much all that needs to do in there, and I've got to keep these clean. But yeah, so anything else I can think of to do while I've got the car up here, I will. But let's get the bushings done first. Let's get both sides tightened up, get the drop link tightened up, and then we'll see where we are from there. Alrighty. Alright, so a confirmation then. As soon as I tightened these bolts up, and I've tightened them pretty well, I have to say, I really did give them a good tightening. This has, yeah, that's closed up. Yeah, that is solid. That's not going nowhere. That's now solid in there, and yeah, that's it. That's good in there. So I'm going to do the other side now and get the drop link done. Okie doke. So everything's tightened up on the car. The drop link went on nice and easy. I sprayed some WD-40 on the thread and it went on great. The splitters are back on with my very amateur repair with the Tiger Seal on the inside, but it saves them flapping around. I mean, this crack's particularly difficult to seal up. I mean, to get the, you know, I know I only use prip pads to try and push it together, but if I was really wanting to do it, there's a little ridge there. I could sand that down, you know, nicely, and then just put filler in here so it was all smooth, and just paint it with some satin black. Done. If I wanted to, I could. Maybe another time I'll take it off, and, you know, if I get really bored through these coming days and weeks, maybe even months, however long we're going to be, you know, locked down for. Well, not locked down, but, you know, how long we have to be careful for. I've also cleaned the inside here, so that's all nice and smooth. I've cleaned all around the hub as best I could with that drill with that epoxy thing on it. But I am going to grease this up a little. I've also done the inside of the wheel here, so that's all clean. Took the cap out obviously, and then that's all done. So I'm going to put a little bit of white grease on PTFE on there, and then a little bit of grease so that the wheel goes on nicely next time. So right now we're in a state where I can put the wheels back on and bring the car down. but then I've got to bring one side of the car back up so I can get underneath, so that I can put the black plastic cover back on, which is there. And because I can, I'm going to give this a clean, because you don't often get a chance to do this. So I'm gonna clean this thing underneath, at least here where it's visible. Ideally it could do with a bloody jet wash really, but I might just wipe off the dirt and then just use some spritz on it very quickly. I'm not really, you know, this is auto finesse spritz, very nice for your dashboard and interior plastics and stuff. It's very good spritz. I quite like it. The other stuff I would recommend for your interior would be can't remember the name of it now. Something 301, 303. Yeah, just do a search for 303 on Amazon. Interior cleaner, interior spray. It's is it automotive 303? No, I think it's something to do with it. Aeroplanes, air something 303. Anyway, that stuff. Yeah, I recommend it. I don't even know the name of it. Brilliant. So yeah, I've cleaned off some of the, I've degreased it underneath a little bit, so that everything you see underneath is now dry. And then maybe after, you know, a few hundred miles, I'll jack it up, take that cover off underneath, and then just take an inspection and see if there's anything else built up, because most of that what looks like just a load of grease and oil, when I touch it, it's completely dry. It's like, and I don't even mean like nothing comes off back on my fingers, like it's been on there for years. So this is nothing recent. So I don't believe I've got any oil leaks. I don't get any drips. I just get the water. If I start the car in the morning and back out, I get a few drips, you know, dripping down, and as you can see here, you know, but I've touched it many times. You know, the consistency, it's pure clear. It's absolutely clear water, you know. So yeah, I'm guessing I've had leaky headlight mechanisms before, so it might be that. The car does need a wash though. I know it doesn't look like it from here. You see that now on the phone and it looks gleaming, but trust me, it's covered in dust. The bonnet needs a respray, I mean badly. But yeah, it's completely, actually it looks like the outside world has taken a lot of the dust off. But yeah, it doesn't need it right now. I'm just not desperate for a wash. It's still fairly clean. I need one of those Ken Dodd tickling sticks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's going to sound really weird. Yeah, like a feather duster, and just to get the dust off the car that way. I also want to buy, I think Amazon's got them for under £10, is a dust sheet. So when the car comes into the garage, if I'm not going to be using it for an extended amount of time, I just put a dust sheet over it. Not a car cover, but a very thin dust sheet. And it just keeps the car dust free, because dust does gather in here. I mean, I've swept this garage out and there's still loads of dust here in the corners, you can see. So it's definitely getting in, and yeah, it'll just keep the car preserved while I'm not using it, because you can't really use it much these days anyway, except for, you know, important shopping trips and whatnot. Anyway, I'm drifting off the subject. So yeah, everything is done. I'm actually now trying to think of things to do while the car's up in the air. I did for a brief moment think, let's pull the radiator out and change it, because it is, oh, I've told you on a few times that the radiator is bowing at the bottom. Let me show you. Let me get underneath and you'll see what I mean. Now you see that, guys? Look at this. So you'll see where the radiator here is flush with this plastic. it's flush here, and then look, this is supposed to sit on the bottom of the radiator. Look how far out that is. Now I've gone, what, 20,000 miles on this radiator. You can see it's coming out here, so it's not leaking. You might think, oh, that's where the water's coming from, but that would be coolant, and that would be yeah, I don't know, maybe. I mean, the stuff I see dropping on the floor is clear. It's not blue, but all this is dry. It's absolutely dry. There's no wetness on here at all. Nothing. Nope, that's all dry. That is as dry as a bone. It ain't leaking. It ain't leaking. I don't believe it's leaking at all. It would show up on the under tray, I think, and it, yeah, it's not. But yeah, you see this and you can see it desperately needs changing. I just don't fancy that job of bleeding the whole damn system out. But I know it's got to be done. I do have the radiator waiting to go. Yeah, I mean, I see this and I see it like this. I know you guys are going to say, you know, you need to get that done. I don't want to be going on long trips and then suddenly the radiator bursts on me. But yeah, the expansion tank, I've inspected that a couple of times. I don't see any issues with that. It looks fine. There's no cracks in there at all. Yeah, radiator. Fan's easy to remove. It's electric fan, so getting this out is a piece of cake. It's not seating in this bottom latch, obviously. It's a little bit loose there, but once the new radiator goes in and this black plastic goes underneath back on again, then all that's going to sit properly. But it's not going anywhere. Like I said, it's been like this now for 20,000 miles. So I don't think it'll do another 20, and I don't want to chance it. But it is. This is certainly on near the top, or on the top of my to-do list. So don't fret. I will get this done. Yeah, I know it's a thing to do it. So you know, it's the bleeding bit that gets me, because I think there's bolts. There's bolts inside the car. There's a couple of places, I think, on a video I saw where you have to bleed the coolant from out of the engine. I think there was a bolt somewhere in here that you take off, and it bleeds the fluid out of there, as well as all this coming out the radiator. So I'm going to have to look up on that first. I want to make sure that I know every step I'm doing before I do it. So that's why I've been sort of putting it off a little. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to put everything back together and I will be back. Alright guys, that's it. She's all done, all put back together. So I'm just going to take her out for a 5-minute spin around the corner just to make sure everything is good. And here's the water. Since I started the car up. Let's have a look. There's one drop there, it's dropping there, see? Just on the corner. It's dropping there by the splitter. You can see where it is in relation to the splitter, and on the side it's here. So it's kind of there on the bumper. Sort of here, around here. Where the pink Clubsport is. Now, the radiator is way more at the front, so I don't think it's that. It's got to be bloody headlights or something. So maybe it is the aircon pump, I don't know. See what you guys think. But it was dry and then I started it up and I got this. Yeah, let's have a look over here, see if we've got anything. Now, that's just squirts of my WD-40. which I'm going to have to clean this up. Okay, like I said, I'm going to take up a little spin now. The sun's out, but you know, we have to isolate. So anyway, thanks for watching this one, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.